We are joined by Anthony Patterson of the Atlanta Voice. He covers all things Georgia State baseball. Anthony, how you doing this morning?
Good, man. A wonderful, wonderful morning. How's everything with you?
Everything is great. Got got a good thing going here with the Atlanta Sports Unlimited, so I want to keep it rolling. Let's talk about some Georgia State baseball for a sec. Their season is winding down. They have about 7 games left so far this season. So Anthony, looking at the 7 games, they got a game against Mercer this week, and then they have 2 more conference series finish out the season. So where do you see them finishing? Right now they are 7-11, and they are currently 5th in the Sun Belt East standing. So where do you see the Panthers finishing up?
So, yeah, you just alluded to it. They have Mercer today. Fingers crossed for great weather because I know they say it's raining like till Friday. So we hope it's great weather. As far as where I see them finishing, I think they could win 4 out of the last 7. How do I think they can win it? I'm not the smartest guy in the world. I'm not, but I think I could predict some pretty good games. But I do see them possibly evening up the season series with Mercer tonight at home. I think they can get a win that would ultimately help their confidence coming down to the end of the season. You alluded to the weekend series. They are at Texas State starting Friday. That's a 3-game weekend series. I do see them winning 1 of the 3 games that weekend. And ultimately, when they come back home, if they cannot get a season sweep versus Little Rock, I do see them getting 2 of those 3 games just because they have shown that they play better when they're at home. I don't know what it is about home. I think a lot of people know what it is, but when they're at home, they always seem to rise to the occasion and play better. I think I would be asking a lot if I said they got a weekend series win, like a sweep of Little Rock. But I do think they can win 2 of their last 3 games. And ultimately, that would give them a lot of confidence, not only to end the season, but heading into the Sun Belt Championship.
All right, Anthony. So looking at the team this year, they won a few games early on against, ranked West Virginia, taking 2 from them. They were able to get 1 against number 2 ranked at the time, Vanderbilt. And they followed that up with a win against the in-state rival and number 10, Georgia Tech. After that, they kind of fell off a little bit. Do you think it's because, they were just riding high those few games and they kind of came back down to earth, or they just had a really good stretch of baseball for that time in the season? Like, what do you think was behind then and then looking at the season now?
Well, it's crazy that you asked that question and you kind of alluded to some possible answers because I think depending on who you ask, it can be a mix of those things. Just because, for one, they started out the season strong. They won the doubleheader against West Virginia at home, who is a ranked great team. They were able to get that done, and they also were able to beat number 2 Vanderbilt on the road. A lot of Georgia State fans remember this. But because we was wondering on that last play if they were gonna, field the pop-up, but right. They were able to get it done. But what I was gonna say is that they were playing great. They were playing great baseball at the time. Also, it was early in the season. They are a young team, so I think those going to the heights and going down is just part of the game, especially for just this young team because they've showed the talent that they do have with their team, just with this team in general. Even, because when you schedule these ranked games, when you're script the schedule against ranked opponents, West Virginia, Georgia, Vanderbilt, in-state rival Georgia Tech, Tennessee, number 2 Florida, Kentucky. Like, these are games like other teams or other people look at. They expect you to lose. So this is not something that should be taken just lightly. Like, they are winning some of these games, and if they're not winning, they are competing. Some of them obviously were blowout wins, convincing wins, convincing losses for this in that way. But at the same time, these are showing where they how talented they are and how they will be coming into the future. I talked with Coach Strondahl about this even last season and coming into this season. He did this on purpose. He wants the strength of schedule because he wants his team to be ready when they go to future opponents to get those weekend series wins. He wants his young team to keep growing because he even knows it that his team has what it takes to go deep within Sunbelt play, but not only Sunbelt play within the College World Series, getting past the regionals. So all of that to say, long and short, it is amidst everything. Just them being a young team, learning and figuring things out. Coach Strondahl basically putting them out there to figure things out with that schedule. Maybe getting a little bit high on wins because, again, these are games they're not expected to win. And
Right.
these are games they're making history for the school of Georgia State. We're both alums there, so we understand how Georgia State has grown just in the last 10 years in general. So
Yeah.
that's that's a little part of it. But also, him figuring things out with the team, recruiting, and just even though they have certain weaknesses that may glare in their games, these are things he is trying to build and see where they can.
Okay. All right, Anthony. And lastly, this is not Coach Stromdahl's his first full season, the second season after last year with COVID. Just so far, what are some of the improvements that you've seen throughout the 2 years and the time they're watching the team in? Where do you think his ceiling is with the program?
Yeah. So, Coach Strondahl, literally, I would say this is literally his first season of coaching. I can't, because last season they played a few games and then it stopped. But literally, I would say this is his first full season just because he is finally able to see more of what his team is able to do. And even if I'm not mistaken, with this full season, he alluded to it. They usually have more games. And because of COVID-19 and just different things, they're not able to have that list of full slate of games like they were used to. But some improvements I have seen from him, again, getting that strength of schedule, so getting the notoriety of Georgia State out there that, they are a force to be reckoned with and you should take them seriously in future matchups. 2, is obviously improved. They have improved their offense because they have players that can go out and get hits, that can get home runs when needed. Some of the things I would say he's needing to improve on is, of course, the bullpen. Great pitching is always great to have. Even with that's great of an offense and players that can literally hit home runs at any given time. Improving the bullpen of that, and just literally I think he has the team. He is selling to the team. The team is buying in, but just continuing to sell to this team because this is a young team. But he has shown, and they have even shown themselves what they're capable of doing. So he knows everything that he is doing for a reason. He may not see the results right away and overnight because it takes a time thing, but these are some of the things that he has going for himself and that will ultimately pay dividends, which goes into his ceiling. I do see him competing within the Sun Belt. I think a lot of people don't give the Sun Belt as much credit just because, the Sun Belt, for whatever reason. But I mean, you have Coastal Carolina. They've always had a great baseball program, great team. They won the World Series 5 years ago. People forget about that. Well, some people do. But I do see them competing within the Sun Belt, ultimately winning the Sun Belt Conference Championship. I do see them winning multiple Sun Belt Conference Championships and ultimately get to the regional series of the College World Series. I I do see this. I do really think he can take this program to different heights because everything he's doing now with the stricter schedule and getting them the notoriety to get there, I truly, truly believe he's going to get this program to higher heights. And he has what it takes. He has, of course, the experience, the coaching pedigree. He also, not only does he have the coaching pedigree and everything, he has everything lined up the best way he can have it for him, because now he's in the position to succeed. He's able to go out and recruit top players within the state of Georgia. And I know, we cover Georgia sports, so we understand how big of a state Georgia is. For him to get those top players to come to a school like Georgia State, where they have UGA, Georgia Tech, Mercer, and even Georgia Southern, like, this is a big deal. So the ceiling for him, I definitely see him winning the Sun Belt and ultimately getting to multiple regionals within the World Series, if not making a deeper run.
All right, Anthony, thanks for your time today. Great insight as always. We look forward to talking to you again soon as baseball season winds down and as we get football and basketball season coming up.
All right. Thank you, Greg.
All right.